It me, da Doom. Welcome to the hall. So welcome back, Wargamers. So this is actually the only episode in my Gundabad orc conversion and hobby vlog. And the reason is I forgot to take a video when they were assembled. And if you saw my Journey to Chow East vlog, you'll know that my device ran out of batteries. And because it ran out of batteries, I wasn't exactly able to film anything until I uploaded some videos and got some more space. So that was why while I was painting, I wasn't able to record the steps. So these were finished about a week ago. Probably longer by the time this video goes up, but yeah. So the Gundabad works, what I did first was I used my airbrush to prime all the armor about in black. Just watered it down a bit. I actually found you only need to do minimal watering with a bat in black if you're doing it with an airbrush. But then for the brown areas, I dry brushed with Rhinox. Not dry brushed, airbrushed with Rhinoxide. And the cloak. Actually, I also got the underside of the cloak here. I'll show with the captain. I got with Skaven Light Dinge airbrushed. So, yeah, and actually, if you haven't seen my conversion vlog, I have posted 2 videos on how to do these capes. And, yeah, so pretty much I just made those out of green stuff. I also used the Gundabad conversion pack to convert a lot of these guys, so I'll just go over so you can see the different heads and weapons I've used. On all of these guys. Here's the banner bearer. I actually removed the skull and put a Gundabad Berserker weapon on to make it more of the Gundabad symbol. So yeah, just all down the line, all these Gundabad orcs. I'll add or most of the capes, except probably for this guy, are all flowing in one direction so that they look better when regimented. I think that was the only orc who I forgot to do that with. But yeah, so these are all the orcs, and if you know the conversion kit, you know how I kit bash these various orcs from the Gundabad orc kit and the other kit. I also did some sculpting on some of their legs, like this guy here. And yeah, I did the green stuff sculpting on their legs to get fur. But yeah, so after I base coated it that way, I just finished up the base coat of a mix of cremate white, tiny bit of dawnstone, and flayed-one flesh for the skin. And for the rest of it was just the cloak was same things, though I did put a Gorthor brown base coat on the underside of the cloak, because these are supposed to be like wolf pelts. So yeah, and then I did the metal again though in Rufang steel, because Rufang steel is actually really light paint. It's not so good as a standalone, I find, unless you're going for an effect that you want the black to show through, because it doesn't really cover too well. But that was the effect I was looking for, so then over all the black areas where the armor were, I put Rufang steel. Then I washed it, the orcs in Reichland Flesh Shade. This is an absolutely amazing wash that gets both like a bloody skin, like a regular skin color for skin, a bloody skin color for Gundabad skin. There we go. I'll focus on this orc here. We now have an overview. I can focus on one model. So, yeah, I had batch painted all of these guys. So yeah, for the skin it gives the bloody wash, and as I said, for the armor it gives a rust effect and just a gritty look to them. Then, once that was dry, I dry brushed the leather and brown parts in Gorthor Brown. The skin, oh yeah, the hair is just Flayed One Flesh, both base coat and highlight. And then I did the Flayed One Flesh, Dawnstone, and Cremate White again for the skin, and then mostly Cremate White with the tiniest bits of Dawnstone and Flayed One Flesh for the final highlight of the skin. And for the cloaks, I went from a reapplication of the Skaven Light Dinge to Skaven Light Dinge and Storm Vermin Fur, and then all the way up to Dawnstone, and even a bit of Dawnstone and Cremate White, or Cremate White with a bit of Dawnstone as the final highlight. So that's how I did those. And then for the armor, I just did a bit of a dry brush in Lead Belcher to make it apparent again, the metallic parts, and that is pretty much it except for the eyes. Oh yeah, I did the fingernails. With Flayed One Flesh. So yeah, and for the eyes, if you can see that I actually painted the whites in Cremate White and the pupils in Abaddon Black, but I painted the irises, which is the eye color, in Caligar Blue, because I really, I think I mentioned this in one of my first hobby vlogs, but I really want to be able to paint, or have wanted to paint the eye colors on models, and I finally figured out how to do that, so that is something that is really cool. Pretty much the technique to do this, because I'm sure you're all wondering, is just be very careful and controlled. Put the white down, then the colored eye part down, and then put the black in the middle, and it's all control. Use the smallest brush you can get your hands on, and it's just all about control, and not shaking your hands too much if you can try and do that. So yeah, that's pretty much how I did the orcs. The bases were just standard, what I always do. Check out other hobby vlogs for that, because if you see my other hobby vlogs, I don't want to bore you with the same description of the bases. However, for the banner, I did dry brush all the brown areas in Gorthor Brown for like spear shafts and the banner parts as well. But for the banner, I decided to go with a purple theme. I'd seen someone who had done more of a violet purple on Facebook, and I decided, you know what, I want to do a purple banner. So it was pretty much a mix of first Corn Red and Cantor Blue as the base, then highlights of getting progressively from this base mixed in parts of Altioch Blue and Wazdaka Red, and then on the very highest part, I did Evil Sun Scarlet and Caligar Blue, which then with those paints I had to actually not wash so much as glaze over some of the really stark areas because they had it blended so well, so I then glazed them over. But yeah, so I am really proud of how this banner came out and quite happy with how it's come out. And for the white, I just used Cremate White because I figured it would stand out better than black, though I did have some black, which is Abaddon Black, and it's simply the Mountain of Gundabad. And if you're wondering why it's irregular like this, you're like, you painted the eyes, but you can't get your banner freehand straight. That's actually because I wanted it to follow the flow of a cloak, because the design, if you look at frontwards, if the cloak is flowing and not flat, it actually wouldn't look flat looking on it from the front, so that's the effect I went for. And yeah, so I am really happy with how these orcs came out. Forgot to note a couple things. Most notably, I did repose quite a few of these guys, and particularly him, because I changed him to have a spear in one hand. Should be bent a little more forwards, but it gets kind of bendy the way it was done, because I need to put the banner in one arm. I also put the snow over them, as well as the banner. So I just put the snow over my orcs. And it was the same snow as I have on the bases, just like smaller amounts, which is the Citadel snow. mixed with Elmer's glue all multi-purpose glue, and then water, about equal parts. Maybe a little more on the snow side for this effect. And as well as my usual mud effect, that I may have had a bit more Rhinox hide than usual, because it's made out of Rhinox hide put in Reikland Flesh Shade, so it's a muddy wash, and because of the rust I figured I needed to make it a little bit more pronounced for the muddiness, as well as the cloaks got the weathering as well. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Support your Hobbit hobby, and Akmanruki Astu. Thank you.